Iga Świątek just made comments that absolutely shattered the narrative around Aryna Sabalenka. She exposed what everyone's been whispering about behind closed doors. Sabalenka's public persona? It's not matching reality, according to Świątek. The two tennis rivals have a complex relationship, but Świątek's recent revelations go way deeper than simple competitive tension. This exposes something fundamentally wrong with how Sabalenka presents herself to the world. Do you think Sabalenka's public image has been a facade this whole time? Or is Świątek overstepping? Comment your opinion below. Tennis has always been a sport where narrative matters almost as much as performance. The public perception of players shapes sponsorships, media coverage, and fan loyalty. Aryna Sabalenka has built her public image carefully, projecting a certain version of herself to the world. But Iga Świątek's recent comments have started pulling back the curtain on whether that image is genuine or manufactured.
It was awesome then. She went at her there.
But she'd take the point on, and then,
yeah,
well,
oh God.
Yeah, a little kamikaze there, wasn't it?
The crowd don't like it too much. Why did you do that?
The dynamic between Świątek and Sabalenka is legitimately complex. They're fierce rivals on the court. They compete for the same tournaments, the same rankings, the same accolades. Yet off the court, they've been developing a relationship that goes beyond typical professional respect.
Okay, we have to stay together, we have to have fun and just enjoy our rivalry, not be too tough on each other. So I asked, we did it, and since that we already practiced for a couple of times, and then I was doing fitness after our heat, and she's like, I can join you guys. I'm like, yeah, let's do that, and we filmed that, and yeah, we posted. So it's becoming more chill between us two, and I have to say that she's a really nice person, and it was fun get to know each other.
They practice together. They post on social media together. They've publicly acknowledged that their rivalry pushes both of them to be better. But that off-court friendship might actually be revealing something troubling about Sabalenka's true nature.
I hope we're gonna make it to the final at the Roland Garros, and I'm gonna get you there.
Okay.
We'll see about that Roland Garros final.
Świątek has been increasingly vocal about the difference between how she and Sabalenka present themselves versus who they actually are. This is where things get interesting. Świątek has defended Sabalenka against what she sees as unfair public judgment, but that defense is revealing rather than protective. She's essentially saying the public has gotten Sabalenka completely wrong, but not in a positive way.
Wow. Oh, I think that's it.
even Iga let out a little shriek.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, this could have been painful.
Flashback. But she'd take the point on, and then,
yeah,
well,
oh God.
Yeah, a little kamikaze there, wasn't it?
In October 2025, Świątek made comments that directly confronted the narrative many fans have accepted about her rival. She dismissed the idea that she's the good one, while Sabalenka is the bad one. On the surface, that sounds like Świątek defending Sabalenka, but look deeper at what she's actually saying. She's acknowledging that this exact dichotomy exists in public perception. She's confirming that people see Sabalenka as the bad one. Then she's explaining the dichotomy away by claiming they have completely different personalities. Here's where the real expose happens. Świątek stated that she and Sabalenka are just different. That's the key word, just. As if personality differences explain why Sabalenka gets labeled negatively, while Świątek gets positive coverage. But that's not actually what Świątek's saying when you read between the lines. She's saying Sabalenka does things that warrant that negative perception. She's saying Sabalenka's public behavior is genuinely problematic, but they're not going to publicly attack each other about it. Świątek went further by emphasizing that despite their differences and rivalry, they have great respect for each other and are kind to each other. This is the critical part that exposes Sabalenka. If Sabalenka's public persona were genuine, why would there be a need to emphasize being kind to each other? Why would that require special mention? This suggests that Sabalenka might not be kind to others in general, but she makes an exception for Świątek. The implication is devastating. Sabalenka puts on a performance for certain people while potentially being difficult to others. She's strategic about who she's kind to and who she isn't. That's not authenticity, that's manipulation. That's exactly the kind of behavior that would explain why fans perceive her as the bad one compared to Coco Gauff or even Świątek herself. Świątek's comment about their personalities being different carries weight precisely because Świątek is known for being relatively straightforward. She doesn't hide who she is. What Świątek seems to be saying is that Sabalenka is constantly performing. She's constantly calculating how to present herself to different audiences. Her personality isn't naturally different from Świątek's. Her approach to navigating the world is fundamentally different. The 2025 French Open semifinal incident provides concrete evidence of what Świątek might be referring to. After losing to Sabalenka, Świątek expressed frustration with chair umpire Kater Nooney. She claimed Nooney showed favoritism towards Sabalenka. Specifically, Świątek alleged that Nooney denied her request to check a ball mark while complying with similar requests from Sabalenka. This is an interesting situation because it reveals something about how Sabalenka operates.
The question becomes, did Nooney show favoritism because Sabalenka has a reputation for being difficult if umpires don't comply with her requests? Has Sabalenka built a dynamic where umpires feel pressured to accommodate her? That's the kind of behavior that would support Świątek's characterization of Sabalenka as someone whose personality issues create problems around her. Fans have noticed Sabalenka's on-court behavior repeatedly. There have been moments where she's appeared frustrated with umpiring decisions, frustrated with her own performance, and frustrated with general circumstances. The question is whether that frustration is channeled appropriately or whether it manifests as someone who creates tension wherever she goes. Świątek's comments suggest the latter might be closer to the truth. Świątek's contrast with Coco Gauff is also revealing. When discussing consistent winners on the WTA Tour in July 2025, Świątek pointed to herself, Sabalenka, and Gauff as the trio of reliable champions. But here's what's important. Gauff has built her success while maintaining a reputation for being gracious, professional, and genuinely kind. Gauff won Time Magazine's Women of the Year award partly because she represents something beyond pure athleticism. She represents character. Sabalenka, despite her undeniable tennis talent, hasn't built that kind of reputation. She's built a reputation for being difficult, demanding, and emotionally reactive. Świątek's comments essentially confirm that the reputation is deserved. Sabalenka isn't being unfairly judged by the public. She's being accurately assessed. The problem is that she's been trying to convince people otherwise. This is where the hoax aspect comes into play. Sabalenka has been attempting to rebrand herself over the past couple of years. She's made effort to appear more relatable, more grounded, more genuine. She's posted on social media showing her off-court activities. She's done interviews where she discusses personal growth and self-reflection. But Świątek's comments suggest these rebranding efforts are just performance. They're not genuine transformation. Sabalenka has been comparing herself to Gauff throughout this entire situation. When Gauff received Time Magazine recognition, Sabalenka's jealousy became apparent through her social media activity. Sabalenka wants to be seen as the same caliber of athlete and person as Gauff. But Świątek's comments suggest there's a fundamental difference between them that goes beyond tennis rankings. Gauff earned her recognition because she represents genuine leadership and character development. She uses her platform responsibly. She advocates for causes she believes in. She's not performing character, she's demonstrating it. Sabalenka, by contrast, appears to be performing the parts of character development she thinks will generate positive attention. She's strategic about her image, rather than authentic about her growth. Świątek's defense of Sabalenka against online hatred is interesting because it appears to be defense without actually defending. She's saying, don't hate Sabalenka for having a different personality, but she's not arguing that Sabalenka's personality is actually good or praiseworthy. She's arguing for tolerance toward different personalities, but that tolerance doesn't extend to justifying or excusing problematic behavior. It's essentially saying, Sabalenka is difficult, and that's just who she is, so stop being mean about it. That's a far cry from genuinely defending someone. It's more like explaining away their behavior while refusing to take sides. It's the kind of comment someone makes when they like another person personally, but recognize that person has significant character flaws. Świątek clearly respects Sabalenka as a competitor and probably enjoys their friendship, but she's not pretending Sabalenka is something she's not. The comment about increased on-court aggression is particularly telling. In September 2025, Świątek responded sarcastically to reporters, suggesting her aggression increased as a response to Sabalenka becoming world number one. Świątek thanked them for over-analyzing her personality. But what she was actually doing was deflecting from a legitimate observation. If the reporters are analyzing whether Świątek's behavior changed based on Sabalenka's rise, that suggests they understand there's a competitive dynamic where personality and public perception matter. Świątek's sarcastic response was defensive because the question touched on something real. Players do react to each other's success.
Players do change their behavior based on competitive dynamics. Świątek's sarcasm was a way of saying, "I'm not going to engage with this line of questioning," but it also confirmed that the question hit close to home. She was essentially acknowledging that yes, these things do matter, but she wasn't going to discuss how Sabalenka's behavior influences her own.
The practice sessions and social media posts showing Świątek and Sabalenka together might actually be revealing something different than what they appear to show on the surface. These could be genuine moments of connection between two competitors who understand each other. Or they could be calculated attempts to show the tennis world that they're able to coexist and even collaborate despite their rivalry. The fact that Świątek keeps emphasizing they're kind to each other suggests the latter might be the case. What Świątek seems to be doing is setting a boundary. She's saying publicly that she and Sabalenka are different. They have a rivalry, but they maintain respect and kindness. That's a way of insulating herself from the narrative that she should be competing with Sabalenka over who's the better person. Świątek is essentially refusing to participate in that competition by acknowledging Sabalenka's negative public perception without directly attacking her. But here's what's most revealing. Świątek isn't trying to rehabilitate Sabalenka's image. When she had the opportunity to paint Sabalenka in a positive light, she instead emphasized their differences and the need to be kind to each other despite those differences. That's not the language someone uses when defending a friend's actual character. That's the language someone uses when they're trying to maintain a friendship with someone they recognize has real personality issues. The contrast with how Świątek talks about other players is striking. When discussing Gauff, Świątek's comments are genuinely positive and focused on accomplishments and character. When discussing Sabalenka, Świątek's comments are careful, measured, and focused on managing perception rather than celebrating character. That's a meaningful difference that reveals what Świątek actually thinks about these two players. The tennis community hasn't missed these subtle but significant differences in how Świątek discusses her rivals. Media analysts have noted that Świątek's comments about Sabalenka always include caveats and qualifications. She's praised Sabalenka's tennis, but deflected or qualified when discussing personality. She's acknowledged their rivalry pushes both of them to be better, but hasn't claimed this makes Sabalenka a better person overall. This is the real exposé. Świątek has, through careful and strategic commentary, essentially confirmed that Sabalenka's public image is manufactured. She's confirmed that the bad one perception has merit. She's confirmed that Sabalenka is strategic about how she presents herself to different people. And she's done it all while maintaining the appearance of defending Sabalenka and respecting their rivalry. Sabalenka's attempts to position herself as equal to Gauff in terms of character and influence have been undermined by Świątek's more subtle but more damaging commentary. Sabalenka can't claim to be a genuine leader and changemaker like Gauff when someone as respected as Świątek keeps emphasizing personality differences and the need to separate Sabalenka's on-court talent from her off-court character. The hoax isn't necessarily that Sabalenka is faking her entire personality. It's that she's performing selected aspects of character while her fundamental approach to relationships and interactions remains problematic. She's trying to have it both ways, maintaining her competitive edge and emotional reactivity on court, while simultaneously presenting herself as transformed and evolved off-court. Świątek's comments suggest this balancing act isn't as successful as Sabalenka thinks it is. What makes this particularly significant is that Świątek's comments carry weight precisely because she's not being openly critical. She's not attacking Sabalenka. She's not saying Sabalenka is a bad person. But through strategic qualification and careful word choice, she's essentially confirmed that the public perception of Sabalenka as difficult and inauthentic is justified. That's far more damaging than direct criticism would be, because it comes from someone who actually respects Sabalenka as a competitor and maintains a friendship with her. Iga Świątek just proved what many suspected. Aryna Sabalenka's image has been carefully constructed rather than genuinely earned. The comments were subtle but devastating. Świątek essentially confirmed that Sabalenka's character isn't matching her performance. Meanwhile, Coco Gauff continues to represent authenticity in women's tennis. The gap between Sabalenka's talent and her character is wider than ever. Do you think Sabalenka can recover her reputation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for the latest tennis drama. The question becomes,